For those of you who selected personal narrative as the genre of your paper, we now need to figure out what our structure is going to be for our paper. I'm going to go ahead and tell you there's really only one structure that's going to be appropriate for personal narrative. That is a story arc. You should all be familiar with what a story arc looks like. So this is going to help us plan and organize everything in the order that they occurred. So, what comes first in our story arc? That's our exposition, our setting, and our characters. So for me, I'm going to be talking about Aggie football. So make sure that your topic is listed at the top of your paper. I'm going to do a personal narrative about my experience at the Texas A&M versus Tennessee football game last weekend in College Station. So for me, the exposition starts with me and my sister traveling to College Station. The rising action is our road trip, which included several mishaps. Mishaps are things that go wrong. For me on this trip, I was running very, very late, and things kept happening to me that were delaying me even further. I was quite annoyed. Next, I was able to meet up with my friends and family that were also there for the game. Next, at the football game, it ends up being a super close game, a nail biter that goes into overtime.
No.
Yes, for those of you that know football, you know overtime can be quite scary.
Definitely a conflict.
Absolutely. But what happens? Ags win 45-38. Whoop! As a result of A&M winning, we all stayed and sang the war hymn, which is the fight song for Texas A&M.
Do you want to sing that for us, Ms. Schumann?
Dun 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 dun.
Thank you.
Yay! So now, me and my family get to celebrate our victory and go eat. Who doesn't love food? So again, our story arc. You have your exposition, your setting, and your characters. You have your rising action. What's happening in order along the way that leads up, okay? Again, your conflict is usually occurring here. And then your climax, okay? What's the turning point? Your falling action, what happens after your climax? And then your resolution. How did everything end? Okay. Now, I know exactly what my plan structure is going to be. So since this paper is more for my final, I've done my brainstorming here. I jotted down some notes. Maybe I need to reorganize the order so that I make sure that everything on my story arc does happen in the order in which they occurred. And then I'm going to put this here on my paper for plan structure. So include everything that you wrote down in your notes. This is also going to actually work for my fiction writers as well. So, for example, if you decided that you want to write your paper on robots, you would also want to do a story arc, okay? And you would want to plan out who are going to be your characters. Oh, robots, okay? Your setting, maybe your setting is in outer space. Fantastic. Now I want you to go ahead and think about all of your rising action. What's your turning point, your falling action, and your resolution. Also for fiction, you can help plan your story arc by breaking things down into a chart. Maybe you start with your characters, your setting, and your conflict. This is actually going to be best to do first. That way it makes your story arc a little bit easier. So again, robots, outer space. Okay, all right. Maybe your robots realize that all of a sudden they have feelings. They're not supposed to have feelings, but now they do. Yay, what am I going to do with these feelings that I'm having? Okay, fill out your story arc, put it here on your plan structure, and now you have an idea and an organizational structure that shows us the order in which your events occurred.